Hacking Colin Powell in a presidential vote. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Hackers have embarrassed General Powell by accessing his emails and printing them so everybody can see his private correspondence. The lesson for all of us: there is no privacy in this world. Hackers can get into your system. You can be tape recorded at any time by anybody. You can be photographed without your knowledge, and people can even listen to your private conversations while you're in your home using technology. What an awful situation. Enter Colin Powell, one of the savviest political players in America. The former Secretary of State plays both sides of the aisle and has succeeded in doing that for decades. But now hackers have attacked him, and the presidential vote may be affected. Speaking about Donald Trump in an email, Powell said this, quote, "There is nothing he can say that will sway black voters. He takes us for idiots. The whole birther movement was racist. And for Trump to say yesterday that within 4 years he would have 95% of blacks voting for him is schizo fantasy," unquote. Now, that should come as no surprise. Colin Powell has never been a fan of Donald Trump. But even though he's a Republican, he's more favorable towards Hillary Clinton, or so it seemed. The hackers put this out there, quote, "Sad thing, Hillary Rodham Clinton could have killed this 2 years ago by merely telling everyone honestly what she had done about the emails and not tie me into it. I told her staff 3 times not to try that gambit. I had to throw a mini tantrum at a Hamptons party to get their attention." Powell, as you may know, used private email himself as Secretary of State, but not nearly to the extent that Mrs. Clinton did. The general continued with another email, quote, "Been having fun with email gate. Hillary's mafia keeps trying to suck me into it." Now, a guy like Colin Powell can be hacked, anybody can. The effect on the vote will probably be minimal, but we can expect more hacking stuff between now and Election Day. Hacking aside, Donald Trump seems to be gaining in the race right now. At least 2 new polls say that. According to Reuters, Hillary Clinton's support is now 40%, Trump 39% among likely voters. The LA Times daily tracking poll has it 47 for Trump, 42 for Hillary Clinton. They must be going nuts out there in California. Also, a new Bloomberg poll has Trump up by 5 in Ohio. And a Monmouth poll out today of Nevada voters has Trump 44, Clinton 42. Back in July, Mrs. Clinton was up in Nevada by 4. While mid-September polls are interesting, the first debate on Monday, September 26, is likely to change things. Both candidates know if they lose that debate, they could very well lose the election. Summing up, no privacy on the planet anymore. Colin Powell's embarrassed. The presidential race, very tight. And that's a memo. Now for the top story, reaction with us here in New York City, Kyle Rove. Are you worried about the hacking thing? I mean, this could change everything about politics, could it not?
Yeah, I mean, there are things that you can do to protect against it, and I suspect politicians over time will avail themselves of those tools. But I think your point was right. In this world today, you should have no expectation of privacy, because the technologies exist to allow ordinary people to intrude into everybody's life.
That makes it very, very difficult for anybody to even have a private conversation at all about anything.
Sure.
I mean, should laws now, new laws then be put into effect to stop all this?
I don't know. I think we need to be very careful about it. I mean, there are laws, for example, on conversations. In some states, it's legal to tape a conversation without the knowledge of a party to it. But in a lot of states, it's illegal to tape a conversation without all
parties knowing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I just think that this is a chilling time with the technology overwhelming basic civility.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, think about it.
Well,
in almost every area, technology is overwhelming civility. There's no honor anymore.
Yeah. It's amazing. We live in an era in which we have to worry about our privacy, and yet so much of what we do on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram is to give up part of our privacy.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Now, Quinnipiac just put out a poll, just got it, and there's something very interesting here. Among Trump voters, people who are supporting Donald Trump, 66% say they're mainly voting against Hillary Clinton. Does that surprise you?
What has surprised me is how much that's in effect for both candidates. Both candidates have consistently had, not in every poll, but in most polls, been motivated more by the
Clinton vote is 54% voting against Trump.
Right.
So there's a 12-point difference.
Yeah.
But when Trump goes out, I mean, very enthusiastic crowds. I mean, they love him, and he seems to be gaining momentum.
Yeah. Well, he's gaining momentum by looking at the polls. If you take a look at the polls, Real Clear Politics average, she led by 7.9 points on August 7th, and she'd been in decline since. It's now about 3 points. Don't look at rallies and make a lot of them. Walter Mondale, huge rallies in the closing days of the 1984 campaign. 1972, George McGovern, mammoth rallies. And this has been a way in American politics. In the election I wrote about, 1896, 75,000 people show up on the Boston Common to hear William Jennings Bryan, who proceeds to get 24% of the vote.
There was no TV or internet back then. They had nothing else to do. They just went in Boston Common.
Well, even today, people like to go see a presidential candidate.
Yeah. Okay. Now, you still believe that the Hillary Clinton email and the Clinton Foundation, will affect the election. Now, we had a discussion with Geraldo about it last week. Roll the tape.
A man like you, a reporter with the chops that you have, show me one example where there has really been pay for play. In other words, show me one example where somebody took money, one of these Clintons took money, and as a result of taking that money, they influenced some legislation or they directed the country in a place where the money giver wanted them to go. When you can prove that, then I'll be concerned.
It's the appearance.
It's just like appearance.
Okay, so you say there is?
Oh, sure, there are lots of them. And let's just take one, on which a lot of excellent work was done by Brett Baer, who talked about this in a special report. The Washington Free Beacon, Peter Schweitzer had done some work on this. This involved Haiti, and Dennis O'Brien, who is the largest Irish contributor to the Clinton Foundation, between $10 and $25 million. Terrible earthquake in Haiti, January 2010. One of the 2 cell phone operators in the country is Dennis O'Brien. Shortly after the earthquake, the USAID and the Gates Foundation say that they will give the 2 cell phone companies in Haiti $10 million with some bonuses, paid out on how many people they get signed up for it, to begin doing mobile banking in the country. And most of the money goes to Digicel, owned by Dennis O'Brien. Shortly thereafter, the USAID Food for Peace program sets up a special deal where on the cell phones, they will literally give people free cell phones and Digicel service, and they can then access food shipments on Food for Peace program in Haiti using that. Shortly thereafter, O'Brien begins to help Bill Clinton get speeches, 1 in Jamaica, 3 in Ireland. He's paid for the one in Jamaica. He's flown on Dennis O'Brien's plane to Ireland. Unclear if he gets paid for the others. O'Brien's people say, quote, Clinton was not personally compensated for the speeches, which sounds sort of fishy. Was contributions given to somebody? Shortly thereafter, the USAID begins a second program with Digicel, in which they begin to partner on rebuilding schools in Haiti. Now, in the news releases, they mention the amount of money that USAID is coming up with, but there's no mention of how much money Digicel is coming up with. But it gives them goodwill and a brand awareness around the country. During this period of time as well, Clinton has put on has made co-chairman of the official Haitian government reconstruction and recovery commission.
This is Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. Right. He is co-chairman of this group.
Right. By
2012, the National Lottery is now on Digicel's phones. You can play the National Lottery with a slice of that going to Digicel. By 2014, he has made so much money that in April, Dennis O'Brien buys out his competitor, and by October folds the company up and is the only cell phone provider in the entire country. Of Haiti. And during that year, he then gives somewhere between $10 and $25 million to Clinton Foundation. We don't know the specific amount. And he pays himself $650 million in dividends because he personally owns this company and it's privately held.
I got to wrap it up, but it's pretty convoluted. I mean, you'd have to have the FBI in this to just sort it all out.
But it's all on the public record, articles. By the end of your program, I'll have them all up on my website. People can go make their own judgments about whether there's an appearance of a conflict of interest.
All right, Karl Rove, everybody, thank you.